What were you, I mean, that was just the communication thing in India that you were doing?
Put in switchboards and different lines to different people that were in that area.
That was in Korea?
No, it's India.
Oh, India. What year was that?
1961,
Wow. So you were in Korea in 51,
51, 52, and 53.
and you were stringing line all the way down. You were stringing telephone line all the way down from the DMZ all the way down where?
Yeah, from the river, when we got over above Seoul, from the river down, we had communication.
Right.
I was able to tie in with anybody because I had the way of hooking up with all the Army and all the different services.
Nice. Well, so that was the link. They didn't have cell phones and direct. You had radios, right? But they didn't go all that distance, right?
And no cell phones or no good equipment that worked for us, except for the telephones that worked.
Yeah. You laid the lines for.
And the switchboards.
Wow.
And we learned how to get a hold of all the hospital ships, which was fun because all aboard the hospital ships were all the nurses. And that got pretty hairy.
Yeah, that was before you met Martha.
Another situation where my men
That was after.
installed
After I met him.
telephones in the American, or the different secret type jobs they had, but they had their wives over there also. And the men that worked for me knew how to put these phones to work in the bedrooms of the house because the wives and the men lived there, and they put their switchboard in and listened. That's how I caught them. And I said, I'm going to court-martial you if you guys don't do that, because that isn't what we got to do.
So you could listen in on him.
Pardon?
You could listen in on him?
Yeah.
That's how you had dirt on. So you could really blackmail some of those colonels and generals over there. You could have blackmailed some of those ranking officers because you had private communications between them.
I could have been in all kinds of trouble if the officers knew higher than I. In fact, I was all enlisted men all through the Korean War. I wasn't commissioned until after right before I went to Korea, to Vietnam.
Wow. So the Korean War, and then you came back.
No, Vietnam first.
Vietnam was in the 60s.
66 I went to.
So 51 was Korea.
51, 52,
253 is in Korea, and then came back to
61 I went to India.
Oh, yeah.
India. Okay, why did you go to India?
They put in an airstrip for Air America. They fought all kinds of different battles that no one knew about.
So you're working for the CIA and you can't tell us?
Well, the good part of CIA, I mean the secret airbrain, was the people at that airport had all the liquor they wanted.
That makes them popular.
So
That meant girls.
quick to install new telephones for them wherever they wanted, as long as we put a bottle of whiskey at the end of the job.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I imagine some other things that followed.
You had a good time.
Well, it sounds like you did. but it's a war zone.
Well,
yeah,
you take your good times. when you get 'em.
exactly.
Yeah.
Luckily, I didn't invite
Not a
him.
good time, I'll tell you.
What's that, Mom?
Wasn't always a good time. No.
Luckily, I didn't invite it into that job.
No, luckily you didn't know him back then. In Korea, you didn't know him. No,
I was just a nurse.
you're just a nurse. Yeah. Well, and then Vietnam. I got pictures of you in Vietnam. That was a whole different story.
So which one was worse, do you think, Dave? Between the two, Vietnam or Korea?
The worst,
Yeah,
Vietnam,
really? Yeah.
it's awful. The way the Marine Corps fought the Second World War was relying on close air support. We have our troops out and the planes can come in to sort Vietnam. We were out way up north and before I could get air covered on our area, we had to go all the way down to the capital and to get an airplane that would go after the enemy. So it's just
Not good. Didn't get very good support.
pardon?
Not good support. The support wasn't very good. The support
Support was awful.
was awful. That's not good. So you guys were kind of left on your own.
Well, no, not really. We were by the army, and the army was good in certain places. We counted on the Seabees to help us probably more than anybody as far as equipment we needed.
But not much air support.
Air support was bad because the enemy would be in the villages and letting the rockets come up and land on our areas. We had different areas within our area that we'd go underground and hide if the rockets come in. But we couldn't return that fire because they were in the different villages with the women, the kids, and everything. And they were supporting the enemy. But we couldn't get it.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, it was a lot simpler back in World War II, where it was just the war people, that were fighting each other. It wasn't like they didn't put the women and children at risk like that. So
Yeah. Well, it's
that's a whole other deal.
yeah.
That's what all the terrorists do now.
Yeah,
They
that's a
all
terrorist.
do that. So they hide in the villages with the people, so that we can't just go kill them without having other casualties.
So, Dad, if you had to do it all again, would you do it over the same way?
Well, and know what I know now.
Yeah.
Oh, I do it a different way.
Yeah.
We'd all do
Well,
it.
yeah, but so let's say you didn't know, would you'd still do what you did, right? I mean, you fought for our country, you fought for our democracy, you fought for our freedom, you fought to keep us free.
What?
You fought to keep us free.
Yeah.
When communism came down from Korea, North Korea, from China, from Russia, they came and.
Well, that's what we worried about in Korea was the Russian.
Right.
With the
Well, was it MacArthur, right? In Truman?
Yeah.
He left it all up to Truman or to MacArthur, saying, and MacArthur came in and made a pincer move, but then he underestimated the Chinese, thinking the Chinese would never attack, and they did, and they drove.
Only for a short period.
Well, that's right.
That was
Past the
over
49th,
in
48th
States.
parallel.
We held our area, they had their area.
Right. But they came in strong though, until Truman stepped up and threatened the nuclear bomb, because that was after we dropped. That was just 5 short years after World War II ended in 45, and then in 1950.
Yeah, I missed the Victory Medal for World War II by 6 months.
Oh wow!
It ended in June of 47, and I was in the Marine Corps in December of 47.
Oh wow!
Wow.
That's a great story, Dad.
We moved into the-
No worries. Thanks for sharing.
Oh, we got nectar in here.